Hello everyone, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another list video. One that hurts to do so, but has to be done. It's of course about my least favorite songs of 2019. This is a list of those songs that I couldn't stand listening to. Of course I might miss a lot, but I don't want to bring myself to this point where I would listen to everything bad coming out. And of course I'm talking about some more sort of popular stuff because I'm not a bully and I'm not one of those people who would put any harsh criticism towards just up and coming dudes or something like that. It's more about stuff that are more popular for people who can handle criticism, or at least I guess so. But with that being said, let's get into my 5 dishonorable mentions, starting with Earth by Little Dicky. Yes, this song was really awful. For a lot of people, they would think that this track should be higher on the list, but in my opinion, it's not that bad of a song. Of course, it's an awful track. It's super unfunny, it has really bad production, the vocals and the guest performances are cringy, but at least I can give it that it made me laugh just for how stupid it was. And I can give it to Little Dicky for just having so many guests and celebrity appearances. That was quite surprising. And the animation of the video is not that bad. Next is East by Earl Sweatshirt. I'm sorry, but I just cannot stand this song. I mean, it's even a meme that people are trying to enjoy this song just because it's Earl Sweatshirt. I just can't. I think this song is really bad. I think it's garbage. From its really weird and off-putting just sample looping itself, it sounds bad, the production is bad, and Earl Sweatshirt doesn't feel to be on beat, he just mumbles some words here and there. I'm sorry, this is not a good song. Even if lyrically is a good song, I'm sorry, I just can't get into it. When I first heard the song, I thought it was like a parody or something. I couldn't believe this is real. Next is Closed on Sunday by Kanye West. This song shouldn't exist. Not only I don't like anything that has to do with the production or the sound on this thing, but it also offered one of the stupidest lines and lyrics we've heard from Kanye West ever. Closed on Sunday, you're my Chick-fil-A. Next is I Don't Care by Ed Sheeran featuring Justin Bieber, and I honestly don't care about this song. It is the epitome of blunt commercial sound with two of the most generic voices in the pop sphere that don't blend together at all. And we also have Chopsticks by Schoolboy Q featuring Travis Scott. I honestly can't get into Travis Scott. Every time I hear a Travis Scott feature on a song, I think that he ruins it. I don't like his whole ad-libs, his whole sort of psychedelic, mumbling, rapping style. And this song in general was a huge disappointment for Schoolboy Q standards. Getting into my top 10, we're starting with Bad Guy by Billie Eilish, but it's not the original, it's the one that features Justin Bieber. Talking about unnecessary covers and remixes, this is the epitome of the most unnecessary one. I like the track Bad Guy, I think it's an okay pop tune and it's one of the better ones in her debut album. But what a way to ruin this song, just by having this really unnecessary feature that just ruins the song. It doesn't make it any better, it actually makes it sound worse. Justin Bieber's delivery on this thing is just on the second verse and some ad-libs just at the end of the song with this really weird, heavily auto-tune robotic performance that it just sounds so cringy and it's so unnecessary. Nothing else changes on this song. This didn't need to exist. Number 9 is 3 of the most generic acts in recent years teaming up in a song, just making a garbage ass song. Of course I'm talking about Marshmallows, Light It Up featuring Tyga and Chris Brown. Wow, what a combo. At number 8 is Chance the Rapper's Get a Bag. I honestly couldn't pick one specific song for this list because pretty much almost anything out of the new album of Chance the Rapper sucks, but I think that out of all the tracks, it was Get the Bag that just sticked out to me as one of the worst ones. Just get with that, okay? Let's just say that this is an awful song, including lots of others in the album, and just move on. At number 7 is one of the cuts out of the brand new posthumous album of XXXTentacion. I really didn't want to even get to the point of reviewing this album because this is just utter disrespect on the name of XXXTentacion, just trying to take literally everything that has been left out of this man's recordings and just put them in this sort of glamorous production with features that make absolutely no sense. And it really makes for a weird result since the XXXTentacion parts sound extremely rough when you have this really sort of professional production and recordings out of the features. It makes no sense. And the song I included, Hot Kaya, not only has some of the worst features I've heard in a song that make no sense, but it's this really awful dancehall and sort of Latin pop direction. It just sounds really bad. Wow. At number 6 is Don't Throw Out My Legos, What If I Can Let Go by AJR. One of the highlights in just this series of tracks with all of those really stupid similes. This song was awful. At number 5, The White Boy is Back, Tom MacDonald. He had a sort of a big 2019 since he just kept releasing those controversial tracks just to get people talking about him, and he definitely managed to do that. He even had 2 diss tracks on McLethal, and he also had the track If I Was Black, which surprisingly enough it wasn't as bad. It could definitely be far worse. But talking about the track Straight White Male, it's definitely one of the worst ones he has ever done. And apart from the really corny lyrical standpoint, definitely the worst thing about this track is this god-awful chorus. I don't know what's with white rappers just spitting bars here and there, just showing how fast you can rap on their verses, and then just transition to these really awful choruses, but it needs to stop. Number 4, this is definitely one of the worst tracks I've heard all year, and this is Twisted by French Montana. The features, like anything on this song, just sucked ass, with the highlight probably being Logic's verse. That was a huge pile of garbage. I don't want to just listen to this song ever again. This was god awful. At number 3 we have one of the songs from the new Lil Pump album that just became one of the hits, and I definitely can't understand why. Be Like Me featuring Lil Wayne actually sounds like an even worse version of I Love It, which was also a really bad track. From the choruses to the verses to the garbage ass production, this song was just so bad. Definitely my least favorite one out of his new album. Number 2, we have Lemon Drop by Logic. Logic released a really bad album this year titled Supermarket. It was his direction into this sort of rap and indie rock sound that it didn't work well at all. But there was a moment that really stood out of this album, and it was the track Lemon Drop, which sounded like a blatant ripoff of Red Hot Chili Peppers, just taking the worst elements you can think of from a Red Hot Chili Pepper song and just put it on a song, also including some of the cringiest and some of the worst bars and lines Logic has ever dropped in a song. That was embarrassing. And finally at number 1 is a bit of a more personal one. It refers more to my Greek audience. because we're talking about a local track and I wouldn't even talk about it, I wouldn't even care to even mention it if it wasn't the biggest thing coming out in Greece in 2019. And of course I'm talking about Mama by Sinboy. You know, there are a lot of garbage songs coming out of the whole trap sphere of Greek music, but honestly there were lots of the songs that I would prefer to see become more popular than Mama, because there are lots of songs that I can actually laugh at them and sort of like, let's say, enjoy them, but there was literally nothing enjoyable out of this track by Sinboy. And on one sense I get why it became a bit more popular, because we're talking about a track that has a far more commercial sound, it goes more into just Latin pop vibes rather than just trap music, but everything about this track was just really bad, from its awful features to its garbage production to just Sinboy just not even have an inclusion in a verse. He doesn't have a verse, he's just in the chorus, where at most of the times you can't even understand what he's saying. I don't really like using the phrase mumble, but in this case Sinboy is literally mumbling. In most of the occasions out of this chorus I can't understand what the fuck he's saying. And this song for a few months was just everywhere. They covered it a lot on Greek news, on social media, it was everywhere in the Greek scene. And just by listening to this track lots of times, just because everyone was talking about this track, I'm just at this point where I'm just going to say fuck it. And this is my list about my least favorite singles, tracks, whatever of 2019. What's your list with your worst tracks of 2019? Let me know down in the comments. Leave a like if you enjoyed the video, subscribe for more content like this. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video. Goodbye.